Hi, creative friends. This is Saraya, and thank you so much for being here. So, before I dive into this portrait, I just wanted to share something a little bit personal. So, I have a Doberman, um, a beloved friend, family member, and we lost him a few days ago. Um, So I thought about taking some time off from me posting my videos on YouTube because it's just such a difficult time, as I'm sure all of you pet lovers and all of you creative folks who have pets as part of your family, you know that this grief is so wide and deep and raw. And I thought about taking some time off me posting my videos, but I go back and forth because part of me is like, yeah, I just need to take a break. But then another part of me is, it's probably maybe going to be much worse for me because all I'm going to be doing is just moping around looking for Maxie everywhere. And maybe I do need to make these videos. Maybe it's going to help me. Maybe it'll help somebody out there as well. And so please give me some leeway as I try to navigate this, because I do go back and forth. And I do believe that creativity is a great force and tool for us to heal all sorts of different things, our traumas, our griefs, just all sorts of things. So yeah, I am going to make this video, and it's just very difficult for me. So I wrote about it on my last post on Instagram just because over the years I've shared a lot about my life, and I've always posted about Maxie because he is a part of our family. And I talked about him, and so I did write a post about him on my Instagram. If you guys were interested in going to take a look at it, I was going to write a post in the community guidelines over here, but I just haven't been I just haven't been able to muster the strength right now. Um anyways, I am going to dive right in here, and I do believe that we bring all of ourselves to our art. We bring our traumas, our childhood, our cultural symbolic representations, the things we read. We bring everything of ourselves. We're human beings, we're not machines. So I always believe that we bring all of us to our art. And over the years, before I had my Instagram, I had a blog, and I've always been very open about different aspects of my life. Now, I'm not saying I talked about everything. I did keep some things private, my relationships, etc. But for the most part, when it came to me, how I'm feeling, what I'm dealing with, I've just been like 100% open. Me going to therapy, dealing with my childhood trauma, dealing with grief, the ups and the downs, because I do believe that we bring all of those things to our art. Like, I don't separate them. So I am, putting into practice what I know to be true, which is I'm bringing all of me to my art. Anyways, you guys, I'm just going to dive right in. And I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to explain what's going on. And it is very difficult for me because Maxie has always been in my studio for as long as I can remember. We've had him since he was a baby. So he was like my little studio mate. And even though we're fostering Piper and she kind of sits right by my desk, Maxie was always right there too. But anyways, I'm just looking at this. There's a lot about this that I love. I love all the dots. I think it gives so much life and energy to the piece. I love this little line over here, like I talked about in my last video. It kind of happened just by accident, but I so love it. I love this, these numbers here. I'm loving, 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 loving the tea bag texture. I'm going to bring it up closer. And I'm sorry, you guys, but I do have my art light on. It is a specific art light that simulates sun, so it's not as harsh as the overhead lights that I have, because that tends to flatten everything out. But it's really, really dark and gloomy where I am, so I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to turn this particular art light on, just so you guys can see clearly, especially the colors, etc., what's going on. So I'm just going to work on the forehead over here, because I'm not really liking the just the value of that is not sitting right with me. And after me working so much on values, I'm paying attention to my values first rather than my colors, which is a big win for me, because I love color, but I can also get very easily distracted by color. And you know, that's why I really want to reiterate that when we do these exercises, like I've been working on all sorts of value exercises, where it seems like it's a waste of time, it's a waste of resources, but it's absolutely not, because now when I'm, and actually my 100-day project is kind of like a, it's kind of like a, you know, I'm learning about values actually. Those were the parameters I set for myself. So this portrait over here is a learning exercise as well. But I've been doing other exercises, just trying to really kind of deepen my understanding of values. And it is absolutely not a waste of time or resources, because that's how, you know, that's how most of us learn, by doing. So yeah, I just am learning so much. And I'm probably gonna do another video, I'm thinking, about like different value exercises, because I just think it's very, very helpful. And we don't have to work on like a big, kind of like a big page like this, but you can work on like little tiny little cards or pieces of paper that you cut out. So I'm kind of thinking about doing a video on that as well. And I'm just dropping in some of that blue there. And in the last video, I talked about how like I was taking my burnt sienna and I was putting it on the face, and then I was extending it into the hair. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking the ultramarine blue ink and I'm putting it on the hair, but I'm also bringing some of it into the face. And this is just a great way to unify parts of your painting so they're not like separate, you know, so that, you know, they kind of have some cohesion to it. So I am just going to do that. And so one of the things I talked about is how we move from large to small. So what I mean by that is, like, if you look at these, what's going to be the eyes, it's not, you know, they're not clearly defined. Like, of course, we know by where it's placed on the face that those are going to eventually be eyes, but I'm working like the large, and then we work smaller and smaller. So the large shape, and then a smaller shape inside of that large shape, and then another smaller shape yet, and you just keep on working that way. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to kind of like see where the eye is going to be kind of placed here, and see how that looks. And I'm just going to kind of make some shapes here for the nose. And what I am going to do is, oh geez, I cleaned up my desk the other day, you guys, and I don't know where anything is. That usually happens to me. So I am just going to kind of put in a shape for the eye. Let me see here. And I don't want it to be like, you know, like hard. I'm looking at shapes now. I'm looking at shapes, I'm looking at values. So I don't want like to draw a hard circle. I hope I'm making sense in what I'm saying. And I'm just gonna kind of like, and see, I'm not like making it white, like the whites of the eyes. There's all different kinds of colors and values. It's not like a pure white color that I'm using, and I don't want to use white. Like I want it to be just rich colors, you know. And so as you can see, even now, like, you know, it's still these are still shapes I'm dealing with. I'm not like honing in on like the fine details. And what I'm gonna do over here is I'm just gonna kind of, that turned out a little bit too gray for me, like the forehead parts, so I don't want that. I'm gonna just put some of this, this over here I think is just a, it's Naples yellow actually. And there, oops, there we go. Okay, you guys, so I'm just gonna bring this up closer just so you guys can see some of the beautiful stuff that's going on. And I'm gonna let this dry. And I appreciate your questions, your comments, and ideas for future videos as well. So thank you so much, and thanks for listening to my story about, you know, talking about Maxie and how if I do miss a few days of posting videos, that's what's going on. But for right now, I think I'm just gonna, you know, I'm gonna try my best to still keep on making videos because I do think that they're helpful even to me in my grieving and healing process. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.